Welcome to the Ultimate Football Manager rebuild. This time we're taking on Rennes. The mission, simple. On paper, turn this solid League One side into French champions and eventually win the Champions League. There's no season cap, no shortcuts, just relentless progression and one huge twist. We're going full throttle with a fast-paced, high-risk, back-free system. All-out attack, all-in commitment. And here's a fun fact. Rennes have one of France's best youth academies, producing talents like Dembele and Camavinga, so we might produce the next talent. If you do enjoy this rebuild, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again you can comment any team below what you want to see next. Let's get into it. So then, this is going to be Rennes inside of Football Manager. Now, the idea is simple, but the idea is not easy. The idea is to win the French League and, of course, the Champions League. The video cannot end until we have done both. They're going to be the two, I say simple to understand, not simple to achieve. Now, as a club, we have got a lot going for us, okay? The big ones here is going to be the youth facilities and the youth recruitment. So, every season, I will be going in and making sure I'm not missing out on some hot young talent, because at the end of the day, even if we can't play them, we can sell them, so I will make sure I keep a close eye. As a club, we've got a decent reputation, decent training facilities as well. The owners absolutely love the club, and the finances don't look too bad either. So all around, actually quite a positive start. Now, as a club, Rennes, they haven't really won a major. Well, they've won 3 French Cups, I guess, so it is technically a major French trophy. But when it comes to actually winning the big one, they haven't done it. And of course, European success doesn't even exist here, so we are going to try and really turn this club around. Now, they're a club that a lot of you guys seem to like back home, a lot of people that send in their tactics for me to tweak or whatever. I've seen a lot of Rennes saves, so let me know why you pick Rennes, because I've always wondered why. Let me know in the comments, but do you know what? I thought you guys like it, maybe I will, so let's go over and have some fun. Now, the 3-back system I'm going to play is one of mine. I obviously created this tactic on the main channel. It is going to be an Alonso 3-4-2-1, so it is incredibly attacking. Both wing-backs are really pushed up, an aggressive midfield and 2 aggressive AMs with a complete forward, who may change to an advanced forward dependent on who we bring in the future. Now, this tactic basically thrives off the wing-back, so potentially our first couple of signings actually may be wingbacks to really get the most out of this tactic, because if you don't have players that can hack it, you're not going to get the great results. Now, in this team, we have got some familiar faces. The first one is going to be Fofana in midfield. Again, Seko Fofana, is a very good player. He is 28, so a bit on the older side, but we can easily get 3 or 4 years out of him, and he is going to play a big part in initially having a real good midfield. We actually signed this lad not so long ago in one of our previous rebuilds. He looks pretty good, you know. He holds a good value. He's quite quick. He can put a ball in. He's got decent work rate and decent stamina. And to be honest, can probably play the way that I need my left back to quite well in this system. One of the key players which always gets me, that I always forget to mention, is we've got some players out on loan that you definitely would have heard of. The first one is going to be Fabian Rieder. If you can get the most out of this guy when he comes back, we are going to have one attacking midfield slot completely taken up, because he is an absolute baller. You just need to extract the most out of him, because he doesn't always develop that well. So the season he's going to have at Stuttgart is actually quite essential. So we are going to make sure we keep an eye on that, because at the end of the day, if they're not playing him, then I might consider actually getting him back for me, although we can't recall, can we? So we'll have to see what happens, because we need to make sure that works out. And the same is going to be said for Theatre, because he is a great centre-back, you know, a really strong centre-back who I wish I had in the team now. A great centre-back who will save me from going on to buy one of the 3 centre-backs I need, because he can do it all. He is quick, got good tackling, good heading. Yeah, the passing's all right. It's not great, but for a centre-back, it's pretty good. And he's also got the strength, so he is a really good centre-back. And there's loads of other players you can talk about within the mix right now, but they're the sort of main candidates that we're looking at who we think may actually really help us. Now, don't get me wrong, in terms of our front 3, they're not horrific. I mean, I look at this guy in terms of Blas, and he looks really strong. Got good passing, good attributes for an attacking midfield player, and we are going to 100% give him a chance to show what he's got. The same is going to be said for this striker up front, because he does offer quite a well-rounded package. He's good physically, good technically, and just a good finisher at the age of 21. So I think we have got some key players in here that will hopefully get the job done. But the question is, how far can we push in Season 1? We're not playing in 1, 2, we're playing in 3 competitions. The League 1, the Europa League and the French Cup. In terms of prediction, they are predicting a finish of 7th place. Now, to be honest, looking at the team, looking at what we've got, looking at the tactic, I think we can get top 4 in Season 1. I genuinely do. I love this tactic to bits, and I think a top 4 finish is doable. The only thing that would put us off that is if we do go on a good run in the Europa League and that sort of costs us some injury, something like that. All that just happens, doesn't it? It always costs you now and then. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But again, at any part of this video you want to get this tactic and my rebuild, by the way, that is the entire year's worth of tactics and rebuilds, ad-free viewing, early access as well, priority in requests, and so many more perks as you can see. You can go and check out the Patreon right now, where there currently is 20% off. So make sure you go and have a little gander, have a little look. But let's choose Season 1 and let's just see how far the current Rennes team can get me playing a free back. Well, the Europa League, we're not going to have the danger of going on a big run because we actually lose in the round of 16 against Liverpool. We lose in 4-1 fashion, so it's actually quite the battering, to be honest. But then you play a team like Liverpool, look at the teams around us, you know. There's a lot of teams that we potentially could have gone on to beat. We definitely, not maybe, we get the hardest team here. So a little bit unlucky, but I mean, we can't always use excuses. The French Cup wasn't awful, it wasn't good. I do feel like there was a chance for us to go and win it because our game was close and we wouldn't have had to play PSG in the final. So maybe a bit of a missed opportunity, but also at the same time, if we have got top 4, I'm not going to really care. So let's go and have a little look. Perfect. And actually, that could have been a very short video potentially. We are we're not even a point off. We're joint points with PSG at the top, but their goal difference is significantly better. Now, this is a very, very close season between all top 4 teams, but a great start to this rebuild. Rennes coming out hot, and we have got players to talk about, including Blas, the 3rd most amount of assists. We've got Fofana, the 3rd best player. We've got Samba, the 3rd most clean sheets. But where maybe we haven't got a lot to talk about is goals. We're actually going to first appear in the rankings in 8th place. So our goal scoring outlet, which I thought would be our strength, actually isn't our strength, and defensively is our strength, which I wouldn't really expect, so that's always quite fun, you know, when the tactic does a 360 of what you thought. But I mean, it's not an issue because we can just therefore go and improve the attack potentially. But looking at what we've done in this season, our front 3 are actually doing quite well. 11 and 9, 16 and 12, 18 and 1. Farashi, of course, a player that you probably are familiar with from Celtic, a really good striker, bags of pace. The finishing and composure, little bit iffy, but other than that, it's pretty decent. He bags 10 goals. In terms of the midfield, 3 and 10, it's not bad stuff. Fofana, 11 and 6. Where this tactic really does maybe need to improve is the wingbacks. So this man here, for example, 5 and 12 is actually really impressive. However, on the right-hand side, we are looking at 7 and 7, which isn't bad, but I know how good this tactic is at getting performance out of wingbacks, and I have seen this tactic have wingbacks on 30 assists. So I know what it can do, and looking at the right back on paper, he's decent and he's got really a good physical attributes, but he is 30 years of age, so I'm not saying he's going to be out the door this season, but as the years go on, depending on how long this takes, he probably will be the first one to be replaced. In terms of the centre-backs, also, we are going to invest heavily. For the front line, I'm going to play it by ear, because at the end of the day, this isn't horrific when it comes to return. Now, if the right man becomes available up front, despite a great season, to be fair, from Arnaud, we are going to potentially replace him, because we are looking to win Champions Leagues. So if the right man does become available, then we will pounce. But what I will say is, this is where it becomes quite fun for the viewer, because we have no money as Rennes. They're a decent financial club, because I mean, you go into the debts and loans, it's not horrific, there's a lot worse out there, but you never get a mad budget in the first few seasons. So we are going to be using installments, the famous Daily Josh installment. We do love an installment, and we're going to keep it humble. But say, for example, there's a player that's 40 million, I'll pay the 15 up front, the rest can be put on the tab. You know how it is. Next season. So I've actually kept it incredibly sensible because we've signed one player, and this player I just think is really well suited because he can play up front for us and also in AM. Now for us, he actually played in one of the AM roles. He comes in for 35 million, 15 up front, 20 afterwards, and he returned 7 goals and 5 assists. Now this was a very sensible signing because he has played in France for so many years. He knows what this league is. He is proven in this league, and I tell you what, you look at what he has done at his previous team, he's been an absolute machine. So I've got no doubt he's already had a good season, but he can still somewhat continue to develop, get a little bit more confident, and really add a lot to this team. And that is going to be Jonathan David. So I mean, a great option. And again, if I was a bit more patient, I believe if you wait until 2027, he becomes free, but you don't know if you're going to get him. Another team can get him earlier than that. And when I saw him on the market for that price tag, I thought, a player of his caliber, a star French league player, a player that I've signed before and had good success with, is it worth the money? And obviously, you know the answer. Well, our first season in the Champions League was actually really impressive because we get all the way to the semi-final, which we actually keep quite humble against Atletico Madrid. Only a 1-goal loss there, as it is going to be an AC Milan Atletico Madrid final. That is pretty unique, but we do get past some teams, of course, Man City being one of them, a 4-2 win. The round of 16, we are going to beat Napoli 2-1. Again, serious stuff. Do we play in this? We don't, so we must have got all the way through, only losing 2 games, beating Arsenal, PSV, Leipzig, a point against Union, and 2 losses there against, well, 2 very strong teams. So that's completely fine. So the Champions League, I'm going to say, is a really good start. French Cup sounds bad when I say we get knocked out in the 11th round, but look who we played. We played PSG so early on, and look at the result. We only lose on penalties, so in hindsight, that's actually not that bad. Can we view the match report? I'd really like to see if we got dominated or not, because I tell you what, this is 5-4 on penalties as well. Let's actually look at this live. It's actually quite a close game. We had more XG, they had more possession, they were playing they were playing a full-strength team, as were we. You can see Jonathan David there in the lineup. That's quite positive. Maybe we can be competitive in the season, in the league. I hope so. Oh, in terms of the league, we are going to be in second again. Sadly for us, worse goal difference and so many points behind now. So we've not kept up the same pressure that we are going to take to PSG that we did in the first season. However, we have got players to talk about. The player that come back from loan, almost a signing, is going to be Fabian Rieder. Of course, a player that I said if you get him and he comes back hot, he is going to be a great player. Now, his time at Stuttgart was it's all right. I mean, it's not great, but he's come back for us, 17 goal contributions, and that is enough for me to say, do you know what, Fabian, you can work your way into the team, because he is clearly hungry to prove himself again. So more than happy to have him. So great for him. We're also going to see the likes of Adrian come in with 5 most player of the matches, which is really good. That is going to be the left back, a great left back indeed, and Bryce Samba, the goalkeeper that I never even really spoke on, and I don't know why, has come in and done really well for us. So big shout out to him as well. And we have got a team now that, although it's not being competitive in terms of points, the first season was, we are finishing second place now, obviously back to back. So there's not really an argument to say that we're not at least a top 4 team, as we've done it back to back times. A real strong performance in the Champions League. I'm not going to judge the French Cup because it's incredibly unfair. What does that mean in terms of money? It means about 34 million. Now, of course, at the moment, in terms of the contracts, what I am going to do is pretty much try and keep everyone, because I want to build the squad up, then we can decide who gets offloaded, because we don't have big transfer budgets, guys, so the run and the risk of getting rid of some of these players on the free or for pennies really isn't worth it, because they're not bad players. I mean, if you look at the ability, a lot of these are sort of free ability upward players that actually do get some hint of game time, so I'm not going to be too annoyed about it. In terms of the players this season, it's a little bit quieter from the front three, but we still got the job done. We finished second, which is currently the max we're going to aim for at the moment. The bench players are doing great. You can see a nice variety of things happening. 6 and 10 here, 9 and 2 for Farashi, 5 and 5 coming in for Blas. I mean, they're doing their thing. The wing back, the right back we are going to talk about, however, 5 and 4, so 9 goal contributions. The left back, 15. So the left back has been superior so far, but he probably is the better one of the two. Centre back wise, Fiata comes in, 7 goals, probably from my set pieces, and drops above a 7 match rating. That is why I was excited to have him, because he is an absolute machine. Even when he is on the decline, he's an absolute machine. So let's get in to the next season. At the moment, we can pretty much strengthen wherever, but I think if not this year, next year, right back. And so signing one is going to be Amar Marmoush, one of Man City's best players this season, and sadly for him, he isn't getting a lot of game time. As you can see there, he played 9 games, 7 in his first season, a couple of the loan stints, and that is why he was actually able to come to us for 21 million. He scores 19 goals and picks up 4 assists, and there is not a single doubt in my mind that he is worth 21 million pounds. The guy is absolutely incredible. Again, for us, sadly, we can't use him on the left because we don't have wingers, but he can play up front for us, as he has been, and he is returning a load of goals. I think the only downside you could probably put on this guy is probably his age, but even then you've got 4 or 5 years of him, so he can play a big part in this rebuild, and for that price tag, I'll pay it 10 times over. The man on the thumbnail. Now, next Football Manager, he won't be as accessible because he will get a big upgrade, but this year he actually starts off quite, I won't say poor, but not fantastic. Now, what I will say is about this player, we spent 16 million. How did I get him so cheap? They've got a buyback clause of 58 million. So if he does do well, it potentially could be bittersweet, I'll be honest. But he comes in, he only plays 2 games, so I think we are going to have to lock him in next season to really maximise his performance. Now, that deal of them buying him back only lasts until 2027. So that is literally the end of next year. So there is the argument we don't lock him in for 1 more season, give him a little bit of game time, but don't really, it sounds harsh this, but don't really let him go mega, because then PSG might sort of poach him back. If we let him have a decent season, but nothing where PSG are hitting the buzzer and getting him back, he is then ours forever. And that might sound toxic on the player, but for the club, it is in its best interests. So we are going to welcome in Doué as well. And lastly, we are going to welcome in Pedro for 17.5 million. So we have got a complete wing-back here, who is much younger, has a bit of pace about him, great tackling, 14 crossing, great stamina, great work rate. A good competitor for our other right-back as well. And he's not even superior, really, but they can go toe-to-toe, and we've now got 2 fantastic right-backs that can get the job done. This guy obviously is the better one, clearly, after I've just said there isn't a better one. 2 goals and 15 assists. So a very strong season. That's 15 assists in the league alone. Bear that in mind, guys. In the league alone, that is 15 assists. That is absolutely remarkable. A great average rating as well, and overall just a really strong signing. So I look at it now, we've lost a few players here, players that actually will wanted to leave, so I've let them leave. All of the players, I believe, staying in the French league as well, which is always quite interesting. But the players we've lost compared to the players we have brought in, I think it's safe to say, have we benefited? I think we have. So the first time showing the Trophy de Champion against PSG in the final, and a real chance to show PSG that we can go toe-to-toe with you on an actual big stage in a cup final. And it's not looking great because they've signed Jude Bellingham, who makes it 1-0 inside of 20 minutes. About 50 minutes after, we have done nothing at this part of the game. We score an own goal, which is one of the worst things you can ever do, because then they go and win this final by a 3-goal cushion, and I wish I didn't even look at it. Champion wasn't enough, they also have another dominant season in the French league. Now, we are still so many points behind, but it is going to be another 2nd place finish, so I am going to remain quite proud of that, because we're not slipping up in terms of being a consistent top 4 but 2nd place team. And the big thing here, we have got a lot of players now coming through as the top player stats. Marmoush, 3rd top goal scorer. Our goalkeeper joint 3rd. Jonathan David, the 2nd most player of the matches. The 2nd best performer in the entire French league. We've got Pedro and David, 2nd and 3rd when it comes to the assists. So we are building a team here that can become a real challenge to PSG. But it's just about closing that gap. The first season was as tight as it can get. Literally the same points. But now it's about building that gap, and every season closing, and in one, bang, you take the league and you knock them off their perch, and then you go through the whole process of keeping them down, and that's even harder. So we've got to keep building, because I know we can get this done. Now, in terms of the other competitions, there's not too much to talk about. So we're going to look at a round of 16 exit in the Champions League against Real Madrid, nothing too bright there, and a 9th round exit in the French Cup against FC Lorient, which isn't really great. I mean, they're a team that actually aren't even in the main French league, are they? They're in the, they are 8th. I am apparently blind. I am literally blind. They are in the French league. Apologies to any fans of those. But yeah, it's a season which I feel is good because we have kept 2nd place. But also, it would have been nice to at least win the Trophy de Champion. It would have been nice to win that, I think. Just because it's a bit of a morale boost for the players. The French Cup really didn't help with that morale boost. The Champions League is for another day. We're not ready to win that yet. We've got to win the league first. But overall, this season, I'd sum up as pretty okay. That's a good way to describe it, is okay. Now, in terms of the players, we did actually lock in Doué, and, well, Doué, still, how did he only get 2 games? Very, very interesting, but Doué done nothing. Doué done nothing, that's what we're going to call him. He had a pretty bang average season. Now, in terms of the right back, we are going to be looking at 4 and 19, so that is instantly such a big improvement on the previous right back. Left back wise, 5 and 6, I mean, it's okay, but we've now got a new star in town at right back. 18 and 14 is great from David. Reader 12 and 8 is very good, and Marmouche with 26 goal contributions. We are also not going to discredit this guy because he has come in and done very well with 2 and 7. We've got 2 and 1 for Blas. We've got 3 goals to 0 coming in for this man here up front. Of course, the main man up front from a season ago. Apart from that, it's actually quite quiet. But what is exciting about this rebuild is, firstly, let me look at the money. That's not, oh, we've got a bit more. What is it, 30 million? 25 million pounds. So we have got a bit of money to spend. What's exciting about this rebuild is we are now, what, 3 seasons in? Maybe 4, I think 3 seasons in. And we are already being a consistent top 4 team in the French league. We can be competitive in the Champions League with a few more signings, and I think we're on a good progression because I know instantly the areas we need to improve. I look at the team for you now, I can tell you, we might need to improve the midfield in certain areas and bring in a couple of better centre-backs. Now, apart from that, I think the front line's doing this thing for now, and once again, unless there's an incredible AM that comes on the market, we're gonna stick with what we've got. But the big decision was to sign a goalkeeper. Now, no disrespect to our goalkeeper, because he has done a very, very good job. But when you sign Jorgensen, and he keeps 19 clean sheets in his first season, you can't really slander the guy. He only cost me 17 million, and he's a goalkeeper who is only 25. You can get 10 years out of this guy for 17 million. Come on, it's a no-brainer. From Man City, we have brought in another centre midfield option or a DM option to strengthen up the area that I said needed strengthening. Now, we do spend a total of £29 million for Perron, but he comes in and enjoys a pretty decent first season, and he's a player that, I mean, when you're playing for Man City, even if you're not playing many games, to even work your way in there, you're doing something right. It's a pretty much banker of a signing. So we have welcomed in a goalkeeper and a midfielder. We've lost this man Diego on the free, who didn't even really get any games for us. So again, it's back-to-back seasons of pure strengthening. And this time, the French Cup final against PSG. Can we win a final against the French Giants? Well, it would seem that if you're a better man, you'd be cashing out now, because I'm going to be honest, PSG get off to a great start inside of 23 minutes. But those who didn't cash out, well done, because we're going to find a way back into this game with one of the more direct balls you will ever see. And I thought he was offside, but it would have been Mendes playing him on. And we're going to get right back into this game in the 92nd minute. We then go on to win it in the second half of extra time with a great penalty. Trophy won. PSG might be falling apart because we also win the French League in 2027 by 2 points. So that is all we had to do, was get a few more points and we're going to be up there, and we have finally done it. Marmouche, your top goal scorer. Jorgensen, the most clean sheets. Pedro, Adrian, the top assisters. 3 of our players in the average rating. This is exactly what you need. When your players are gelling that well, we only lose 4 games out of 34. We win 29 games. That is such a good record for this team, and we deserve every bit of this. We have been so good since the start. Second place, second place, second place. Now first place. And now we've got to keep PSG down. And another chance to win the Trophy de Champion against PSG. There is no way PSG are going to let us win the league, the French Cup final, and this trophy. Well, apparently not. Bellingham gets off to a pretty decent start in the second half. We are then going to able to be bouncing back against them in the 80th minute from what I like to call a scrappy goal, because it was a bit all over the place, very, very lucky. But this game actually ended up going to penalties. It was a pretty reserved game, not much going on, a pretty quiet game. A great penalty there from Jonathan David, which is always expected. Kvaratskhelia steps up, again, fantastic finish. There is no doubt PSG probably went into favourites when it comes to this, or should they? Marmoush, rocket down the middle. Jude Bellingham is going to step up and rocket it into the bottom left-hand corner. We've then got Fofana stepping up, the man with the praise and the man with the miss. Not exactly a great penalty there, and now we've got to hope they're going to miss their penalty, which they do. Jorgensen is going to be that man mountain. Reader, a man with a lot of praise again, and that is why. A great penalty into the top right corner. Marcos Leonardo steps, and he also scores, and that is going to be pretty much coming down to the wire now. Perone into the bottom right hand corner, getting the job done. Fabian is going to step up, and it is going to be down the middle and just is going to beat Jorgensen. We're going to step here, and that is a great penalty into the bottom left hand side. Henrichs, former RB Leipzig man, steps. A good penalty into the top right hand corner, and this is going to carry on, guys. This was a ridiculous penalty shootout, but it ends eventually, and we win 6-5. Meaning the only thing we didn't win is going to be the Champions League, where we do lose 5-2 against Man City in the round of 16. But we have beaten PSG in everything. The league, the French Cup, the Trophy de Champion. We have done the French treble in the year of 2027. So the only thing left of this video to do is to win a Champions League. And when you've won everything around it, you're expecting a pretty big budget, aren't you? So let's go and see. Don't worry, your internet's not cut out. It's just out of shock. £9.4 million. £9.4 million. I mean, we've got a bit of net debt, I understand that, but as you've seen in my past rebuilds, I don't take to this lightly when it comes like this. £9.4 million after winning you the French treble. I hope they like instalments, because they're about to get some instalments, because I'm super proud of the team, but we need to still improve this. I tell you what, though, this is why you should go and get the tactic, because 8 and 22 from the right back, 8 and 18 from the left back. They are now thriving in this incredible wing back system. Jonathan David, 25 and 8. Reader had quite a quiet season, but I've got a feeling that this man played a fair few games as well, as he is going to contribute 2 and 12. Marmoush, 47 and 4. Incredibly strong. Doué, 13 and 11. That's nice to see, man. Really, really good to see, because now he will be our player forever, which is good to see. And 2 and 2 from Shishiba. So, I mean, genuinely, it's a remarkable season. Just that finance situation threw me off a little bit, but is what it is. Let's get into the next season and go and spend all 9 million. Made one signing and it only cost us £10 million, so it's only 2 million or 1 million really up on what we actually had. It was just another option, you know, to have in the team. He would not be my first choice, but I looked at him mentally and he looks like an absolute tank. So he is a good player, don't get me wrong, just wouldn't have been my first choice. And I looked at around the team at places where we need a bit of backup, and this is going to be the man that we got. So he comes in for 10.7, has a really, really good season. But this is what I mean, guys, okay? Because I have failed to keep hold of 4 players here because I couldn't literally keep them for the love of money, because we didn't have any money. And I've only been able to afford to bring in 1 player. So if we don't keep PSG behind us, this isn't on me. That's on them. As I thought, we're not going to be able to do it. When you win a league title and a French Cup and the Trophy de Champion, you need to go and carry on strengthening the team, because they're going to strengthen because they've lost. You need to do exactly the same. We are now going to fall 7 points behind them. We are still going to be in second place. So remarkably, the worst we have ever done in the league is a second place finish, which is some statement. And don't get me wrong, we've still got players doing their thing. We've got Jonathan David, we've got Shishiba, we've got Jorgensen in there. But at the end of the day, this is quite annoying because this is down to the board. We should have been given money and should have been backed. I feel like Mourinho at United right now. We should have been backed. All I can hope is we've kept and retained some of the French Cups. Well, the Trophy de Champion, we are going to win 2-1 over PSG. So that is something we do keep hold of. And we are going to be in the French Cup final again against PSG again. Basically the only team you play in this French Cup final unless something goes wrong, and our left back is going to show exactly what he's been up to. A great assist there for Marmouche and a great start to the game. We are then going to find ourselves going 2-0 up, and I'll be honest with you, PSG actually didn't offer too much in this game. Fiata plays it all the way through, a great run in behind, and we're going to be leading this 2-0 in the 70th minute, and PSG fans, you might want to look away, because the last goal of the game goes to us again, and it's actually going to be an own goal from Pacho. Another French Cup final win. The Champions League, we aren't really progressing too much in. We do get to the quarterfinals. Who did we beat out of interest? Anyone good? Well, yeah, Real Madrid, only the best. So, I mean, we are able to beat some of the big teams, but we are way off the pace to do it in terms of over an entire Champions League spell. We can probably beat one big team, and then the next big team comes and we can't get it done. So, we still need to improve the team quite a fair bit. But, I mean, as the season goes, it's not horrific. French Cup, Trophy de Champion, second place in the league. But I do feel with richer investments, we could have actually maintained the treble. So next season, we bounce back. Hopefully a bit of money comes in. We try and get the title back. How much have we actually been given? Yeah, joke. I mean, it's 2 million less than last season. Do you know what I mean? I don't like it at all, but it is what it is at the end of the day. It's the modern game. Times are hard. It is what it is. But Marmouche 24 and 7, 20 and 11 coming in from David. Reader 9 and 8, 8 and 9 coming in for the left back. A bit quieter actually for both of them. A lot quieter actually, so I don't know what that's really about, but last season they were like up here. This season they're sort of like mid, but it's okay because I do believe that wasn't the main reason we did lose the league. It is lack of funding, and again I look at the team on paper now and I think another centre back would be quite nice, but what do you get for 7 million? I don't know what you can buy for 7 million. We might hit up the free agent market. Depending on it, we might hit up the free agent market. So it might be a short transfer window, but I'll show you what happens. So we are going to have our first paid out going. It is going to be Batiste going to Saudi for a total of 2.4 million. Learn the English once again. 2 goals and 6 assists on his output season, and I tell you what, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth because we did actually spend 12 million, but he's been a player that has played a lot of games for us, but he simply didn't want the new contract, so who am I not to sell him? I can't force him to stay. And we are also going to sell Albert. Now, this guy actually looks quite good, but sadly for us, as you can see, he was doing absolutely nothing. So we sold him, got rid of him, a little bit of cash back in the bank, which we need. And we are now going to showcase you 4 free signings of some stature. The first one being Sela. You probably picked him up before, from Strasbourg, a great centre-back who has played in France for so many years, drops above a 7 average rating, 8 goals in his debut season. The guy is a man mountain. He's also got incredible pace, he's physically strong, and his leadership is 20. The guy can lead an entire army. The guy is an absolute machine. So to get him on the free is one thing, but to actually look at his attributes and the fact that he's not gone down, and that is why he's free, is another thing. And I can't believe we've actually got him on the free because he's easily a £60 million man. Same can be said for Evan Nilsson. Again, a £70 million striker. Now, I will say his pace has dropped a little bit, but he has still got more than enough. You can see in the top right here, he actually comes in obviously on the free. 18 goals in his debut season. Now, would I have paid money for him because we've got Marmouche? Probably not, but because he's on the free, I'm thinking up here now, guys. I've been given 9 and 7 million. This might be the only chance I get to have money, is to get free agents and then sell them. That might be the only option. So that is why we've done it. And don't get me wrong, this guy might be an exception because he genuinely probably is our best striker alongside a Marmouche, because he's got the finishing, he's got the composure, he's still got enough pace to get by, but I wouldn't have spent 70 million on him, but considering he's on the free on £69,000 a week, you'd be nuts not to in my shoes. And the same can be said for this man, Simmons. Not Xavi Simmons, but £80 million man. Again, he comes in, 10 goals, 12 assists, 7.34. Would I usually go out and sign this guy? No, because I've never signed him before, but now I know him, I probably would, to be honest, because he looks absolutely incredible. And there was just a ray of good free agents on the market. So I completely dumped all of my transfer money, all into wages, and went after the lot, because these sorts of signings, there's a world where we can never afford to spend 80 million on a player. Based off what we've done so far, there is a world we never get that money, so I've got to take my chances. Which is why we also pick up Morton from Sporting. He comes in, obviously on the free, doesn't really do much in terms of goals or assists, but drops a great average rating. Yes, he is 29 years of age, but that's not a bad thing because he's experienced, and secondly, if he does want to be sold, that's going to be pure profit, which means we can invest that money into a younger option for the future. But for now, there is no reason why he can't play. He's good technically, mentally, and physically. A great midfield player, and hopefully, with the addition of, I'm going to say it, 4 very, very elite players, we can go back and win the league. Well, sadly, that's not going to be the case. It obviously wasn't enough. What I will say is Evan Nilsson come in and done incredibly well. The top goal scorer joint, Jorgensen's still doing great, Simmons done great as well, the top assister. So it's not the new players' fault at all. We just simply weren't good enough. PSG have gone back to being relentless in this league. Who have they actually got in charge now? They've got Luis Enrique, so fair play to them. In terms of their tactics, they have got Samu up front, of course they have, why wouldn't you? Lee, Bellingham, yeah, it's a very, very strong team. It is what it is, but I mean, I want to try and catch him. I don't just want to win one. I know we can win the Champions League at any point, but before we win the Champions League, I want to still be on top in the league. I've clearly got enough time to do that because we're not going to win the Champions League in the year of 2029. We actually lose the knockout playoff round, so that's quite embarrassing against a Galatasaray team. Now that means, yeah, we finished in 18th place. We lose 2 games here against Juve and Barca. We draw 3 against 3 pretty decent teams, and we beat the teams that we should. So if we need to iron out the draws. To put it bluntly, that is where we fell. If we iron out the draws, we would have been okay, at least to get through without having to play that knockout game. The Trophy de Champion, we're not going to win. That is now going to be, to be fair, we've won it back to back, so about time another team come in. So we've won that enough, to be honest. I guess it's only fair. I'd love to win it every year, but we can't be too annoyed about that. The French Cup we do win, which is a small bonus for a season which feels pretty okay again, is what I'm going to say. A 1-0 win over Marseille. But I mean, it's a second place again. The French Cup's quite nice. The Trophy de Champion, it is what it is. The Champions League is worrying me because we are shown no clear progression. It's not like we've been to a quarter-final, semi-final. You know, we're not done any of that. We've sort of been around this level all the time, and I'm improving the team bit by bit. But if there is a season where we deserve the money, it won't be this one. And I am dreading clicking finances now because we've had 9 million, 7 million, and we've now won even less, and we've got 13 million. It's okay, but all of that has actually been, yeah, okay. We can't go crazy, let me tell you that. We cannot go crazy at all. But we will go and see what the player's done this year. Sealer scored 10 goals, which is mental. Reader 7-7, Evan Nilsson 23-1, Marmouche 12-1, so that's quite nice, both of them playing together. Simmons 14-16. The wing-backs, again, quite quiet. 5-7 for the right back and 4-8 for the left back. If you compare it to that one season we saw where it was like, bang, the season where we won the league, it was ridiculous. So we might need to really push them on, maybe physically overlap them, get them really stuck in, because they can do more than this. So let's get into the next season with limited money to spend, and I'm not quite sure who we're going to go after yet. The answer is going to be nobody, because by the time I give out new contracts to people, we were so much in the red, I actually had to let some of these people go on the free. That is going to include Fofana, Farashi, Kamara, Jacque, so you say that, and also Samba. A lot of these players wanted to go. If I had more money, I could have kept Fofana and Farashi, but I didn't. So we have lost 5 players and gained 0. This season reeks of a first season out of the top 4. Let's go and have a look. It's not top 4, it's second place, and mark, a bit of history here, because the first time I will ever say this, I am happy with second place, because it was an awful transfer window, financially was not good at all. We lost 5 players. Were they the best players? No. Did they get game time? Yes. So they were important players. Now, the fact we've held on to second actually impresses me quite a lot. And what impresses me is the names that I'm seeing are being quite consistent. Evanilson, Simmons, Jorgensen, the same candidates always coming up trumps again, always coming up top. It's really, really good. But this is where we do now need the next season to have a little bit of cash flow. I've gone into my under-21s, promoted a few onto the bench because they're looking okay. So we're going to test out the water with those as well. But we need investment so we don't keep falling down. This season, I was not expecting to finish in second. I was thinking maybe fourth, maybe even fifth. So this is a very, very unique season where the current players we have got have simply overperformed. And that is really, really good because coming out of the top 2 now, or the top 4, would be an absolute disaster because we're trying to win the Champions League. Without top 4, you're not even got a chance to do that. And how did we do in the rest of the competitions? We're going to click it for the first time, all in one. The first time in the video, disappointment. I mean, it is what it is. The round of 16 of the Champions League, a step further than last time, but again, we can't make our way anywhere past the quarter-final. A 4-1 loss against Arsenal, a quarter-final exit against Lens in the French Cup, and runners-up in the Trophée des Champions by a goal PSG. So it's to be expected, okay? And we're not going to spend too much time on this season because it's a season to forget. The money wasn't there. The transfers were dealt with poorly by myself. Although I say that, there just wasn't enough money to even pay the wages, so I couldn't really do too much. So I'm going to take second place and simply move on. How much money have we got to move on with? That is more like it, 60 million. So maybe that season of not spending anything actually helped the club recover. In fact, it did big time. So we have genuinely got money to spend now, which is really good because we still need to improve this team. On the upside, our wing-backs, 4 and 14, 8 and 11, they are looking more on the up right now. Evanilson, 32 goals, Reader, 9 and 11 assists. Simmons, 23 and 21. It's really, really good, but as you can see, the squad has got a little bit smaller. The bench players are still doing their thing really, really well, but there is still tons of improvement. So at the end of the day, we're going to lock in, spend sensibly, because we might genuinely never see more money than this. But this is a lot of money, don't get me wrong. So let's get into the next season, plan, and really invest for the future. Right then, signing 1 is going to be John Melberg, coming in for a grand total of £31 million. A great centre-back, 34 appearances, 4 goals, 1 assist, and drops above a 7 average rating. Now, this guy really does say a lot because he is quick, he's got decent tackling, great positioning, immaculate heading, and he's 24 years of age. A leading centre-back, a powerful centre-back, who is valued at getting on for double of what we paid. So it was an absolute must pick up, and that is just one of our 2 signings. Then pick up Noah Darvic, one of the hottest prospects in Football Manager. Now, we had to get the instalments out a little bit, but it was only done because this guy rarely becomes available. So when he does, I make sure I get the chance to get him because he comes in for a total of 57 million with 25 goal contributions in 30 games. That is why you pick him up, because this guy will genuinely be one of the better French league players, and he's still only 24. So you look at the players we have brought in, we have planned for the future, we have strengthened opposite areas of the pitch, attacker midfield, and then also centre-back. You can't really query what we have done. They're 2 future signings, and this guy is 24 and played over 110 games for Barcelona. You know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get a player that can come to the French league and almost treat it like the Saudi league. That's exactly what you're going to get. Well, I say that. Don't get me wrong, he did very well. 13 assists. You know, it's pretty decent, but it's still not enough to win the league. PSG are going to have 1 point on us, and we are going to be finishing in second once again. And it does surprise me, because we've got a lot of players in the stats. Our goalkeeper, 2 clean sheets off the top. Evanilson, the top goal scorer. Noah Darvic, Simmons, and Pedro in the assists. We are pretty much everywhere, but clearly we don't perform as a team. You know, PSG are the better team. There's no argument about that. They are playing better as a squad, so we need to improve in this competition, because I do not want to end the video on 1 league title, and if we won the Champions League, I will be. Luckily, but not luckily, because we are still getting knocked out in the round of 16, we lose 5-4 against Barcelona. Now, the one thing I will say is about this Champions League, we struggle so much in the playoffs. It is unbelievable. I mean, genuinely, 3-3-2. No wonder why we're not getting anywhere. In terms of the other cup as well, the French Cup, we get knocked out in the semi-finals. So things have not gone our way this season at all. In a season where I thought, do you know what? It really will go our way. We've got the money. We've welcomed in 2 massive names. Noah Darvic and that incredible centre-back. And we've actually done worse. So that's always a bit of something to remember. Not always money equals good results. But I look at the team on paper, guys, and I'm not being funny. The team's really strong. I think you can argue maybe we need one more centre-back. That definitely could be an argument you make. I think our wing-backs are incredible. You could potentially have the argument of another left-back if you really wanted to, because he's not been as good as the new right-back for a couple of seasons. But apart from that, the front three is incredible. I'll sit here and defend the midfield. I think the team is actually really, really strong. But the question is, when a team's strong, that's one thing. What's Champions League strong? Are we anywhere near Champions League strong? Because winning the French League and a French Cup requires a different strength to winning the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? There's a big difference. Now, to go into the next season, which is season 9, I believe, we have got another big budget. We've actually got our biggest budget yet of 121 million. So we can go a little bit crazy and try and bring in some even more outrageous players. But yeah, surprising by that. I'm very surprised. Right then, signing one is going to be Luca Lapani, coming in from Sassuolo for 17.2 million. 1 goal and 5 assists, but 1 incredible average rating. Now, the concept and the idea to bring in an older player opposed to a younger player is preset, pre-made experience. If we're talking now about Champions Leagues, it's fine getting young players in, but you also need to merge in that cultured defensive midfield vibe, the experienced Italians, the sort of, you know, gritty players, and I think this guy does that well. He's got fantastic passing range, which is handy because he is playing as a deep line playmaker. He's also got the technique. Now, I will be honest with you, there probably are better options on the market. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but we sort of had a bit of a pricey signing coming up next, and that was going to be a brand new left back. And when I say I spent big on this left back, I spent big on him because he is one of the more impressive wing backs I've actually seen, because he's got a lot of high attributes in almost every area, and he's only 26. And if you look at the value what he is now, what I paid for him actually comes across a bargain. Now, I paid 70 million, but he put up 15 assists in his first season, nearly dropped an 8 average rating, and I tell you what, that reminds me of the right back in his first season. He's done basically the same thing. Now, last time that happened, we won the French League. So I'm not saying we have, but he will be the best left back in the French League. He's better than Mendes. I can tell you that for free. We now have the best left back in France. It is enough. It is enough to win the French League. PSG finally have an off season, and we have now won it 2 times. How many more times can we win it? I don't know. Evan Nilsson, 1 goal off 30, your top goal scorer. Adam, 15 assists. Noah Darvic coming in there with 12. Jorgensen the top clean sheets, and 3 players in the average rating. It's almost like when we turn up, we turn up. We win trophies, we perform. The big question is, have we won the Champions League? Or do you know what? Let's not even go for that. Have we got past the quarterfinal? So, the league phase is 100% win rate. That has never been done before with this team. Are we finally ticking? The round of 16, that could have been an early exit. A 1-0, I mean, it's so close against Napoli, but at least we're through. The quarterfinals, so close, goal deficits every time. 3-2 over Real Madrid. Semi-finals, 4-2 over Liverpool. We're actually heading to a Champions League final. The downside, we're playing a City team. Baku on this occasion to play the final, and I'll be honest, it was such a boring game up until the 70th minute, where we are actually going to take the lead there from a goalkeeping howler. Evan Nilsson is going to be back stick, and he is going to capitalise and make it 1-0, and we go on to win. win, win, win. The Champions League in the 86th minute, our first Champions League final, and what a strike from the left back. That is more like it. And we also go on to win the Trophée des Champions in our last season, meaning Rennes has been rebuilt. The French League multiple times, French Cups multiple times, and the Champions League once. That is going to be the challenge complete. And it just goes to show, once you complete the lineup, you complete the concept of having, I said from season 1, right, the importance of these wingbacks cannot be actually put into words. It is such a big part of this tactic, having them wingbacks. And the second we get this guy in, with 24 goal contributions, the right back puts up quite a fair few as well. It all comes together and works. It is as simple as that. And Melberg at centre-back, 12 goals and 5 assists, which is absolutely remarkable. And at the end of the day, the front line, 42 and 5, Simmons 15 and 17, Darvic 12 and 15. It's genuinely such a good return. The bench also done their thing as well, with a few goals here and there. But we're now looking at a team that genuinely can take on pretty much anybody. And if you do want to carry it on, you are going to have a total budget of 89 million, so similar to what I had, to be honest. The debts and loans are 100% clear. You've not got a single penny in debt. You've got a good current team, and some of it pre-built for the future. And the challenge that you're going to have is to win the quadruple. That is meaning winning one more trophy than I did. So if you do want to carry it on, you can of course get the tactic and also the rebuild file up on the Patreon. It'll be up together in one package. I do like to set you boys challenges because I know FM can be boring at this time of the year. Trust me, I know. But do you know what? Quite fun with Rennes. Quite challenging in certain parts of the rebuild because the money was up, down, then down, down. But overall, I'm happy. If you want a bit of general advice where to spend the money, probably bring in a younger striker for the future. Apart from that, maybe a younger midfielder. Apart from that, I think the world is pretty much your oyster. So have fun with it, and hopefully you have enjoyed the rebuild. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.